I literally, I couldn't put a finger on one particular reason why, but I was just happy at that time. Not that I'm not happy now, but I just remember being very happy at that time. Obviously, I'd just gone from not having a job, not having a team to play for, thinking about getting just a normal job, to all of a sudden playing every week in front of sort of 10,000 fans, and back to enjoying football. It was probably, I know I've said obviously already, it's massively down to the manager, but I think I was just so happy and positive in life in general, that when I did go onto the pitch, I knew straight away that I'd be able to influence the game, or at least create as many chances as I could in that game. And yeah, I used to say to my mates, joking about, night before a game, they used to come round and we'd have food, and I used to always say, "What celebration do you want me to do tomorrow?" Because I just had that feeling of I was going to score or at least play well every single time, and I was just so not happy. I was just so positive at that time in my life. I think because I'd gone through such a struggle sort of the year or two before, or even 3, because the whole sort of time at Torquay was a bit of a struggle, and my confidence was low, and it just seemed like my confidence was back, and I sort of trusted my ability to be able to go out there and perform. And yeah, even off the pitch, I was happy, and I've always tried to be quite happy and positive around the training ground and everywhere. So yeah, I couldn't. It's hard to exactly say what it was that made me so confident at that time. But yeah, that I just felt not unstoppable, but I just felt so good in myself. And when I got onto the pitch, I just felt extremely confident at that time.
People who listen to these podcasts, mate, who play, might obviously be trying to relate to your story in a way. And I think something I want to ask you for the benefit of others is, when you are performing well, and I'm hoping that obviously a lot of players that listen to this do end up performing well, and they put themselves in a position where they might be able to move on, right? So especially during the season that you and I were playing together, you were playing at such a level that from probably about November leading up to January, people were talking about Billy Bodin and where he might move on to, and which team might sign him, where in the Championship is he going to go. At what point did you start to think that moving on was a not only an ambition but a realistic ambition for you? And what did that do to you as a person? Like, I'm asking for the benefit of others. Like, when people are performing well, when do they know when the right time to try and move on is?
It's a difficult one, because you always want to play at the highest level possible. So when I first went to Bristol Rovers, I still thought to myself, if I do well, then I'll try and get a move or try and move on again. And if that didn't work, obviously I'd still be at a very good football club and play my trade in whatever league they were in at the time. So my aim was always to kick on and move on. But when I really realised there's a good opportunity or a good time to go was probably the start of that season. I think I'd scored, I think it was 13 both seasons before, and that was probably when I felt that pre-season. I felt the best I'd ever felt. I think it was when we went to, was it Spain? Oh no, Albufeira.
Portugal,
yeah.
That was good fun.
Yeah. and that sort of pre-season, that was probably the fittest I've ever been. I remember just thinking I'll do loads this summer. I'd always had a bad start to the season. Whatever club I'd been at, I'd always sort of had a slow start. Not a bad start, but a slow start. And for some reason, I knew that if I do loads this sort of off-season, it'll give me a better chance to maybe get a move or if I don't get a move, then I'll be in the best shape possible, and I'll be able to play even better. But yeah, once that season started, I think I scored 4 in the first 4, and that was probably when I realised is come this January, then I'll probably get a move this January. So yeah, probably the start of that season is when I sort of realised, right, I can kick on again now.